All right, with the mixer powered on, there's a lot of buttons, a lot of knobs. Don't be afraid. We'll go over them one at a time. All right, once the mixer powered, once the mixer's powered on, you see a lot of knobs, a lot of things, a lot of flashing lights. Don't worry about it. We'll go over it one at a time. Very easy fixes, very easy to use. So you see 4 buttons initially. Brightness will change the brightness of this LED panel. Change user. We do not use any users, so we will ignore that. And shutdown. Shutdown means it actually shuts down the desk. Now it's safe to turn off the SQ-5. We'll shut it off. I have no idea if I'm in the shot or not. And then we'll power it back on. Generally, you don't have to hit the shutdown button to shut off the desk. The manufacturer recommended that you do so. Not a big deal. Hit no once it powers up. All right. And this is the faders. Bunch of buttons here. Pre-fade plus assign. Select. Channel to all mix. You got copy paste. 6 layers. Layer A is our usually working layer. Drums, bass, electric guitar 1, electric guitar 2, acoustic guitar, violin, synth, yellow mic, lead mic, red mic, green mic, blue mic, headset, all the stereo, effects, our vocal DCA, and actual main volume. That's layer A. Layer B gives us a little bit more control. Key stereo channels 15, 16 we are not using at the moment. Channel 17, 18, that's our synth. FOH, that's our talkback. Panic, that's the worship leader's panic mic. Stereo 1, behind we saw stereo 1 and stereo 2. Those are for the video, PC, other 3.5mm stereo inputs. Phone. Gonna move the mic, gonna move the camera. ST3 in. This takes standard 3.5mm to standard 3.5mm. And I label that phone. That's what we generally use for music during interlude. And USB. We don't use USB, but this board has capability to play playback from USB. And the last 8 channels of this second layer is the actual drums. Kick, snare, sometimes mic gets integrated the wrong way. Eventually this will be snare top, snare bottom, high tom, low tom, hi-hat, overhead, and click. And now you may remember in the old mixer, hey, isn't overhead generally the stereo channel? Yes, it is. This mixer has the capability of combining 2 faders into one, so we're not losing another fader. So this is actually a stereo channel, and we'll see that later on. Layer C. These are local inputs. You can ignore these. FX1, FX2, FX3, FX4 return. This is how much the FX rack unit returns from what it sends. Layer D. These are all our sub buses. You have the leader. Let's see. We'll review these later. Announcer, singers, keys, click, wireless headset, lavalier, record. We're still in the process of figuring that out. Let's see, vocal delay, vocal reverb, insert delay, insert reverb. This is actually showing you how much we're actually sending to the FX unit. And if we go back to C, this is how much it's sending back after it's done all its processing. Layer E is our matrices and some of the other kind of like redundancies. These are DCAs, and these are our main mixes, main left, right, matrix 1, matrix 2, and matrix 3. Matrices we're not using just yet. Matrices are a mix of mix. So this will actually take your main mix, your aux mix. It will group them together and send them to a different way. You can process them differently. Add delays, add effects, whatnot. And finally, F, we're not using. We don't have enough channels that we're using at the moment to actually use any of these channels. You can actually map MIDI and whatnot. We will not do that at the moment. I'm gonna frame the camera a little bit more differently so we can go over these side buttons. These are your actual mix buttons. We'll be considering ourselves only for the top 12. The bottom four, 9, 10, 11, 12. Be actually helpful to go with the main layer. 9, 10, 11, 11, 12. Those are wireless mixes. Those are for our frontline singers who have the wireless in-ears. As a rule, we don't generally mess with these unless we need to. So wireless person 1, their mix is something like, I want more bass, electric guitar 1, electric guitar 2, kind of normal. Instruments kind of like lower, and then more vocals. We're going to second layer, and you have the panic kind of at same volume with lead singer. This is talk back from our position and whatnot, and they have the ability to kind of set their own mixes accordingly. So drums are kind of even, whereas if we're going to main, it's a little different. Likewise for the second singer, third singer, fourth singer. And we don't generally touch numbers 9 through 12, because if we do, we can kind of inadvertently disrupt their in-ear mix, and that can get kind of confusing. For the backline, we'll use the ME1. Their mixes are totally independent from the SQ-5 mix, because the ME1 is a mixer on its own. It can do EQ processing, all the good stuff right on board. So we will not really go into this in detail at this moment. All right, let's go into channel processing first, and then we'll get to the sub mixes. These are, if you remember from layer D, vocal delay, vocal reverb, instrument delay, instrument reverb. So let me kind of frame that again. Vocal delay, vocal reverb, instrument delay, instrument reverb. We'll come back to those a little bit later, and I'm gonna try to see if I can kind of frame everything so you can see the faders and whatnot. I may have to go into 4K, so I'm gonna stop the video here.